we will talk about each and every one of these 17 elements जो हैं. We will talk about their forms, किस form में वो absorb होते हैं soil में, where in the plant body are they required, और उनके role क्या क्या होते हैं, what are the important functions that they fulfill or perform. The first and the most important one which we will talk about is nitrogen. Okay, so nitrogen is the most important element in the plant. It is required in maximum amounts. Okay, it's required in maximum amounts. Out of all these 17, this is required most for growth. And often nitrogen जो होता है, that often behaves as a limiting factor for growth. So तब we add the nitrogenous fertilizer to the soil. Now we'll talk about the form in which it is absorbed. इसका जो absorption वाला form है, that is, it is usually taken in the form of nitrate. Okay, nitrate from the soil. But there are other forms जिससे plant can take up nitrogen also, and those other forms are nitrite. This is nitrite, and there's another one that is ammonium, NH4 plus, that is ammonium ion. Okay, and this one is our nitrate. Usually the plant prefers nitrate, and ammonium जो होता है, it is a bit toxic to the plant. So हम बाद में पढ़ेंगे how does the plant get rid of excess of ammonia. So what are the functions that it performs? It is usually required by all parts of plant. Especially the growing parts. जो growing part होता है, that require much more of nitrogen. Nitrogen is a component of nitrogenous bases. जैसे nitrogenous bases क्या है? Nitrogenous bases that we have are purine, pyrimidine. The purines and pyrimidines are the two classes. उसके अंदर है we have A, T, G, C and U. That is A, T, G, C and U. So A stands for adenine, T for thymine, G for guanine, C for cytosol and U for uracil. Now all these form DNA and RNA. They are also present in hormones, as well as they are present in proteins in the form of amines. Amine group होता है protein के amino acid में, so in the form of amine groups. Okay. And they are required by especially growing parts of the plant. The growing parts of the plant are the meristematic tissues. Okay. So next we move on to the next. We have, okay, the first one is nitrogen. Next we move to phosphorus. Okay, phosphorus के बारे में we have studied earlier. It is phosphorus. Okay, so phosphorus is किस फॉर्म में वो एब्जॉर्ब होता है, विल टॉक अबाउट देम. फॉर्म इज either it is absorbed in the form of HPO2 minus, or it is also absorbed in the form of HPO4 2 minus. Okay, either it's absorbed in the form of H2PO4 minus or HPO4 2 minus. Both of these forms are present in the soil. Now phosphorus का रोल क्या होता है? Phosphorus is an important component of ATP, ADP and AMP. That is adenosine triphosphate, adenosine diphosphate and adenosine monophosphate. So everyone has phosphate. These are energy rich compound and this में phosphorus का role बहुत important है. Then we talk about DNA and RNA. Okay, so DNA में there are phosphodiester bonds present. So phosphodiester bonds. Okay. Other than this, they play an important role in phosphorylation reactions. They have a role in phosphorylation reactions. Phosphorylation reactions are very important in making of energy molecules such as ATP and ADP. Now, in biological system, जो addition of phosphate होता है या removal of phosphate होता है, that is a very important tool जो either एक plant के पास या animal के पास होता है, और वो ऐसे फॉस्फेट को किसी भी लेट्स से एंजाइम या मॉलिक्यूल को ऐड करके इट कैन कन्वर्ट इट इनटू एक्टिव और इट कैन कन्वर्ट इट इनटू इनएक्टिव. सो एक्टिवेशन इनएक्टिवेशन का जो कन्वर्शन है दैट इज ऑल डिपेंडेंट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंटली ऑन फॉस्फरस. सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द नेक्स्ट एलिमेंट नाउ. द नेक्स्ट एलिमेंट इज कैल्शियम. Okay, the next element that we're talking about is calcium. Calcium is required in the growing parts of the plant. Required in the growing parts of the plant like meristem and differentiating tissues. Okay. So calcium is required in growing parts of the plant like meristem and differentiating tissues. वो जो form होता है, this form it is absorbed. That form is of a divalent cation that is known as calcium ion. Okay, that is Ca2 plus divalent cation. So we'll write it. Okay. Now calcium का role कहाँ पे है? Calcium has a role in maintaining maintaining the foundations, maintaining the boundary or the foundation of a cell after cell division. Because they form the middle lamella. Okay. जो मिडिल लमीला होता है, लेट्स से दिस इज वन सेल. ओके, अब द सेल इज डिवाइड होने के बाद इट हैज टर्न्ड अप इनटू लेट्स से ऑलमोस्ट डबल द साइज. ओके, लास्ट स्टेज पे पहुंच गया, टीलोफेज पे. सो जैसे इट हैज रीच अराउंड द टाइम इट हैज रीच टीलोफेज, द प्लांट विल स्टार्ट डिपॉजिटिंग एक सब्सटेंस. यूजुअली ये जो सब्सटेंस होगा, ये फाइनली इट विल फॉर्म अ वॉल और सेपरेशन बिटवीन द बोथ द डॉटर सेल्स. तो ये जो लेयर होगा, दिस इज नोन एज द मिडल लमीला. ओके, द मिडल लमीला जो है, इट इज मेड अप ऑफ टू सब्सटेंसेस, दैट इज calcium pectate and magnesium pectate. Okay, so forming the middle lamella, and the other function is it helps in spindle organization, और जो क्रोमोसोम होंगे उसे प्रॉपरली उनके प्लेस पे पोजीशन करने में हेल्प करता है कैल्शियम. इट हैज अ रोल इन स्पिंडल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन and the movement of chromosomes. Okay, so we will again revise these three elements or unke role. The first element that we talked about is nitrogen. Nitrogen has a lot of role, बहुत important element होता है plant के लिए. It is absorbed in the form of nitrate, but nitrite और ammonium के form में भी absorb हो सकता है. अगर वो अमोनियम के फॉर्म में absorb हो रहा है, then it follows a different pathway, because ammonium जो होता है that is toxic to the plant, and all the parts of the plant require nitrogen for especially the growing part. मेरिस्टेम को नाइट्रोजन बहुत ज्यादा चाहिए, क्योंकि because it is let's say growing up, तो it requires a lot of building up of biochemical substances, जैसे nitrogenous bases हो गए because DNA is dividing, या plant hormones हो गए, या there are proteins are everywhere required in growing parts. So nitrogen therefore is important in the growing parts of the plant. Next we come across a very important element, that is phosphorus. Phosphorus का role इसलिए important है because it produces some of the best activation and inactivation mechanism in biological systems. Biological systems में phosphorus का role इसलिए important है because वो energy rich compounds में तो है ही, like adenosine triphosphate, as well as वो DNA को भी stabilize करता है with the help of phosphodiester bonds. उसके साथ वो phosphorylation reaction में भी involved है. Phosphorylation reaction से finally you get ATP. So phosphorylation reaction occurs in photosynthesis. Lastly we come across calcium. Calcium जो होता है, calcium is absorbed in the form of Ca2+, and it's a divalent cation. कैल्शियम इज ऑल्सो, कैल्शियम की भी जरूरत ग्रोइंग पार्ट्स ऑफ द प्लांट पे होती है, लाइक मेरिस्टेम एंड द डिफरेंशिएटिंग टिश्यूज। डिफरेंशिएटिंग टिश्यूज मतलब लेट्स से जो मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यूज होते हैं दे हैव वेरी रैपिड ग्रोथ, वो डिवाइड करते रहते हैं, बट आफ्टर अ बिट ऑफ टाइम वो जो मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यूज मतलब मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यूज के जो सेल्स होते हैं उन्हें किसी पर्टिकुलर सेल या टिश्यू में कन्वर्ट होना पड़ता है ताकि दे स्पेशलाइज इन अ पर्टिकुलर फंक्शन। लेट्स से जो मेरिस्टेमेटिक एपिकल मेरिस्टेम के वो सेल्स या टिश्यूज हैं दे गेट कन्वर्टेड इनटू जाइलम और फ्लोएम, और let's say a shoot, they give rise to a flowering shoot. So that is what differentiating tissues are. So calcium का role is very important in maintaining or separating a newly formed cell, because वो calcium pectate के form में middle lamella form करता है, which is compartmentalizing the daughter cells. The last one is spindle organization. जब the cell is dividing and plant has a lot of like during division there are spindle fibers all over the cell. तो these spindle fiber को organize करने में calcium plays an important role, as well as the movement of chromosomes. जो chromosomes when they start their movement from the poles, और देन और फिर वो पहुंच जाते हैं एट द दे स्टार्ट द मूवमेंट एट द इक्वेटर, सॉरी, एंड दे रीच द पोल्स। सो उस मूवमेंट ऑफ क्रोमोसोम्स में भी कैल्शियम प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल।